Walt's early years. To me, every hour of the day and night is a perfect miracle. Walt Whitman. Walter Whitman was born in the West Hills neighbourhood of Huntingdon, Long Island, on May 31st, 1819. He had an older brother named Jesse, and later had 7 young brothers and sisters. His parents, Walter and Louisa, were Quakers, but did not go to church much. Still, what Walt learned from his parents and other Quakers helped him grow up. He believed people were good, and he also liked nature. Walt and his family moved around a lot when he was young, often because they did not have enough money. Still, his family enjoyed being together and meeting new people. One of them was the Marquis de Lafayette, who had fought alongside George Washington years earlier. Walt went to school until he was 11 years old. Then he went to work as an office boy. He later wrote that he had a nice desk and window nook to myself. The men he worked for also let him go to the library and check out books. There he learned to like many different kinds of books. Later, Whitman went to work at a newspaper called the Long Island Patriot. There he learned how to make a newspaper. He went on to work with other newspapers and also wrote some stories for them. Walt liked to go to parties and talk to other people about what was going on. Then, when Walt was 16 years old, a terrible fire burned down many of the newspaper buildings in New York City. Walt had to move back in with his parents in Long Island. Once back home, he got a job as a teacher, but he did not like it. A little later, he moved back to Huntington and started his own newspaper that he called the Long Islander. Then, less than a year after that, he sold his newspaper and went to work for a Mr. Brenton at the Long Island Democrat. Walt was now a grown man, but sometimes liked to act like a kid. Someone later told a story about him. During some of the time he was in the household, the apple trees in the garden were in bloom. When Whitman would come from the printing office and finish the midday dinner, he would go out into the garden, lie on his back under the apple tree, and forget everything about going back to work as he gazed up at the blossoms and the sky. Mr. Brenton would wait for him at the office for an hour or two, and then send someone up to the house to see what had become of him. He would be found still lying on his back on the grass, looking into the tree, forgetting that he was expected to be at work. Later in the day, Mr. Brenton said to his wife, "Walt has been a very little help to me today. I wonder what I can do to make him realise that he must work for a living." And Mrs. Brenton said, "I don't see why he doesn't catch his death of cold, lying there on the ground under that apple tree." Since Walt did no other work, he went back to being a teacher in 1840.